What's up, guys? My name is the Ripper Danny B, and I'm here bringing you my 2016 Royal Rumble review. Now, before we get this thing underway, obviously this is a slightly different format for me. If you're used to watching my universe videos, this is the way I usually come across, just a voice and no picture, but obviously my live stuff usually has, well, live, basically, a camera on my face. I am tired, I'm sick, I look like hell, so I didn't really want to get myself on camera. I know I should keep to my job, but you know, it's I don't think you all just want to stare at a sick old Ripper for now, so decided not to let you all miss out on my Royal Rumble review, because obviously I have things to say. If you know anything about me, I am one opinionated fellow, and I didn't want to let it slide. So, with that in mind, we're going to take a look at the entire Royal Rumble pay-per-view. I'm going to take a look at the matches, try not to spend too long on all of them, but you know, some of them I'm going to take some talking about, and we're going to get right in with it with the kickoff show, the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. You have the Dudleys versus the Ascension, Henry and Swagger, and Darren Young and Damien Sandow. Now, the first thing to note, as I have noted, well, not to you guys actually, but I've said it a lot in person to my wife and to anybody else who will listen to me, which isn't very many people, but I have said it, they seem to be going on with this primetime players split very, very quietly. Darren Young came out with Damien Sandow, which has absolutely no real reasoning behind it other than, oh look, here's two guys we've got. Their name both starts with D. And Titus still continues on his singles career. He even did it inside the Rumble itself. So, yeah, they've gone with that. It's quiet, but they are doing it. So that's that. They've had no explanation. I don't understand it, but there you go. So the match itself was the usual clusterfuck Fatal 4-Way opening match you'd expect. I mean, the pairing of Mark Henry and Swagger did kind of make sense. They're both, you know, all-American heroes, as it were. I just banged the microphone, so that's going to have a funny sound. And, yeah, so that kind of at least made sense. Now, it should have been the Dudleys who went over, but I guess their role at this point is to put over younger stars. And realistically, out of everybody in that match, and I know some of you are going to argue with me with this, but the guy who needed to go over most was definitely Jack Swagger. Sandow does need it, but he needs a character reinvention because they've just kind of gone with a face version of his original character, which is ridiculous in every way, shape and form. But until they can figure out what they're actually doing with Sandow, you can't push him because he's just going to crash right back down again once the character fizzles a bit, and let's face it, everybody's does. So yeah, Jack Swagger got his moment. I think it was Mark Henry who took the win of, yeah, it was in fact, looking old and confused as usual as he nearly tried to pin the wrong person. All the same, Henry and Swagger make it through to the Royal Rumble match. Fair enough. It's, you know, that is what it is. But yeah, like I say, it could have been a move for Jack Swagger, so there is that. So we move on to the match, the show itself, and there was definitely a lot of content. There wasn't a lot of filler, which I do like for a Royal Rumble pay-per-view. We got right in with the match that logically should have gone on first, Ambrose versus Owens for the Intercontinental Championship at a last man standing match. Obviously, we knew they'd both need the time to recover from this one. So it made perfect sense that they went on first. And, I mean, it started straight away, really, with Kevin Owens going right into Cole. That was amazing. It really took him out. I'm sure Kevin Owens is incredibly proud of that one. The holy sheep chants went off pretty much right at the very beginning, and they just didn't stop. It was heavy hitting. It was a crowd pleaser. Good lengthy match as well. Brilliant moment in the ring. I hate you too. I love that kind of crap. Yeah, and it just went hard, it went big. There were so many great spots in this one. I thought it was wonderful. And it went down to Kevin Owens taking a bump through a double table on the outside, not being able to counter, so that was great. Good last man standing technology, that's such the wrong word, you know what I mean. Good last man standing technique in this one, definitely playing up. The Kevin Owens rolling out onto the floor to save himself, it's a tried and classic, but it's good. Definitely, to my mind, it's gone down as the best last man standing match on a Royal Rumble pay-per-view. It's fourth. Go back and look up the others. I think JBL mentioned them on the show. It was a great opening contest. The right man went over, at least to an extent. I mean, it all depends on what they're doing with Kevin Owens going into Mania. If he does end up with that now rumoured match with AJ Styles, then the Intercontinental Championship could have played an extra role in that. But for now, great move. Great match, great crowd pleaser. So there we go. And we move on to the next one, which was the New Days versus the Usos for the Tag Team Championship. Now, this is a been and done match. They've done this many, many times in different forms over the past year. But, yep, the dog literally just sneezed under me, for Christ's sakes. There you go. Back on focus. The New Day are in pink, which is awesome. They just keep adding level upon level upon level upon level of ridiculousness and stupidity, and the Francesca 2 thing was exactly what it is. Just mental. The match itself wasn't really great. There was a nice tornado DDT on the outside by Xavier Woods, a false finish, but it was good. It was a good match. And he's going to do it again. He's just sneezed underneath me, for Christ's sakes. It did what it needed to do. The New Day retained, as you'd expect. They move on. I don't know what they've got planned for the New Day, because I think, quite frankly, the tag team division is dwindling. They've gone through the Dudleys, they've gone through the Usos, there's no Lucha Dragons right now. So, I mean, we're just going to have to wait and see. Hopefully, all the best to the New Day there. But great match. Then we moved on to Kalisto versus ADR for the United States Championship, and if he doesn't stop sneezing before so long, I swear to God, I'm going to put him in another room. Now, this one I was surprised about, because after they decided to take the mask off of Del Rio, the mask, I'm reading my notes through and I'm getting so thoroughly confused here. This is exactly what's happening to my brain right now. They decided to put the belt on Kalisto and then take it off him again straight away, so that to me says they just didn't have faith. They went for a shocking moment, and I think maybe the crowd reaction to Kalisto winning it might have been the push for them to go, do you know what, let's give him a shot. So they did. There were some great moves in that match, but obviously quite a lot of it was botched. Kalisto did make quite a few little mistakes, and Del Rio was at fault for one or two of them himself. I think ADR going for the mask was a big tell, and this means that this feud is going to continue on with a mask versus hair match. Whether I like that idea or not, I don't personally. I think Kalisto should move on, and they should try and bring a little bit of prestige back to the US title by having Kalisto fight another guy on a low level, kind of like the John Cena situation, without the fact that the champion is like the most dominant man in the last 10 years. So that is what it is. To me, the right man won. Kalisto needed that moment. If he is going to be the next Rey Mysterio, which quite frankly he should be, let him go and let him run with the belt. Have a good lengthy run until at least Mania. Book him strong. Book him as the plucky underdog. You know, do exactly what you did with Rey, building him up to the world title without, you know, the whole Eddie Guerrero story going over it. And definitely don't do what you did with Rey after he won the world title. So then we get on to Charlotte versus Becky for the Divas Championship. And let's just point out, get this out of the way now, I have to say it now, that has got to be the grossest distraction ever. My God, if you didn't see it, go back and watch. It's on the WWE Network for and you can probably find it here on YouTube as well. Ric Flair kissed Becky Lynch, man, and he didn't just like kiss her, he like took her face off. And it was weird, and it was gross, and I'm not usually creeped out by things, but that was creepy. I'm still kind of in the mindset that that wasn't planned. That's just Ric Flair, the kiss-stealing, wheeling-dealing son of a gun, just kind of went, oh, this will be a good idea for me to stick my 39-year-old... Wait, no, got that wrong, didn't I? His 69-year-old tongue down a girl's throat, because why not? Ew. Like, ew. Anyway. They went with a couple of big spots again. I mean, the thing is, this was a great match. It was a great Divas match. It's definitely one of the better ones we've seen on the main roster, without a shadow of a doubt. And that's what happens when you bloody well put Becky Lynch in there. All the respect in the world to Charlotte, but when you put Becky Lynch in the match, it's gonna be a good one. The girl might not be the best promo in the world, but my God, she can go. You had the whole Ric Flair spots with Charlotte knocking down her dad, and then the distraction with a jacket. I mean, for Christ's sakes, what was the referee doing? He was having to go at Ric Flair. He should have been removing the jacket from Becky Lynch's face, and it turned into a Charlotte win. Whoop-de-doo. I really thought they should have put the belt on Becky at that point. Obviously, then Sasha Banks returns from injury. The crowd pops like hell. She attacks Becky. She, you know, BFF clicks with Charlotte, and then boom, she attacks Charlotte, setting up a match for them. Whether it's going to happen at Fastlane or Mania, it seems a bit too early on to be building for a Mania match for the Divas. But then again, maybe the WWE aren't being so short-sighted. Who knows? Regardless, set up that match. It was a serviceable Divas match, but it was basically the crowd filler until the main event, which is the Royal Rumble match. Now, for anyone who knows me, I am a bit of a historian, and I do actually have a list right here in front of me right now of every man that entered at what number, who they eliminated and who they were eliminated by, because I like to keep those records. Don't ask me why, I just do. Although I am missing one. Apparently I blinked when The Miz got knocked out. It's only The Miz, doesn't really matter. Anyway, moving on from that. So, the Royal Rumble match. Now going into this one I was skeptical. It's the Rumble, should be great. Roman Reigns defends the title. Do you know what? I'm all for that. That was a great move. It's the first time it's ever been done. They actually managed to pull something out the bag that's not just a rerun of an old concept. And then they put Roman in at number 1. And that to me is where it got dangerous, because that turned the entire Rumble into business. Now we have to say we didn't get a lot of surprises. Didn't get a lot of shocks. But I guess when the title is on the line, that is what it should have been. It should have been guys that would just realistically had a shot. And I know there are a lot of guys in there that didn't. You've got your Stardust, you've got your Tyler Breezes, your Curtis Axels. None of them had a chance. We knew this, but at least they were on the roster stars. We had absolutely no old guys come back in. None. And I'm okay with that. Again, it's for the title. Well, I said we had one old guy come back. I'll get to him later. But yeah, so we started out with Roman and Rusev, continuing on the Roman versus the League of Nations stuff. Nice early start for Roman Reigns. He started to look strong, and then of course the moment dropped. And with the worst camera angle in history, thank you Kevin Dunn, we got to see Roman Reigns' face as the music hit. And the Tron flashed. I am phenomenal. AJ Styles was in the arena, baby. Was it that much of a shock? No. I mean, standing back from it now, these rumours have been flying for 3 or 4 weeks now. We knew AJ was coming in. There's absolutely no two ways about it. Even if you don't keep up with the dirt sheets. Like, if you're not somebody like me, I check the dirt sheets pretty much daily, except on pay-per-view days. Or if I haven't watched the show yet. And even then, after a while, if I go 2 weeks without watching the show, which I have done recently with everything else going on, I still check the dirt sheets. So everybody knew AJ was coming in, but the fact is it was reported on WWE.com. So it was no shock to anyone. But he made his debut, it was impressive, the crowd blew up. He's in Orlando, for Christ's sakes, the home of TNA. It blew up. AJ, I'm glad he got to keep his name, obviously, that seems to be the thing. Like, I did wonder, what's the point in going through TNA anymore? You get to keep your own name, apparently, asked James Storm, Samoa Joe, and AJ Styles. But not so much Xavier Woods, or Kofi Kingston, Ron Killings, should I say. But yeah, that was that. Beautiful moment from R-Truth at number 12. I said, as soon as he came down to that ring, I said, do you know what, I bet he thinks he's in the Bloody Money in the Bank matchup. And the first thing he did was pull a ladder up and climb it. I'm fucking gold, me, I saw it coming. But yeah, it was a great moment there from R-Truth. We had the usual run. We only got one of the Social Outcasts, which I can't complain about. At least Tyler Breeze got a spot. There was that. I also got to point out as well, the first time since 2008, the two men that finished last year's Royal Rumble were the two men that started it. They didn't overplay it like they did with Michaels and Taker, probably because one of the participants was Rusev, and, you know, the whole story was about Roman Reigns one versus all. But all the same. So, yeah, that was that. Spot nights go to Kofi Kingston, being caught by Big E. I think What Culture themselves actually predicted that one, so did I. I expected it to happen on the shoulders, just sitting around ringside, having a Coke and some popcorn with the fans. I like that. That was awesome. Just chill out and watch it. And then the League of Nations got involved and attacked Roman Reigns, pulling him, mauling him, and splashing him through the table. Now this is where my problem truly lay, should I say. You're trying to book Roman as this powerhouse. You're trying to book Roman as this one can beat all, absolute rough shot of a man, and you wrap him up in bubble wrap and you take him out of the ring. Now, I'm glad he came back in before the end, although it was only close, and obviously he didn't win. But that was risky, because that could have undone everything that they've done to build him in this past year. Very, very risky. I don't like them for taking that risk. It could have gone so wrong. I was sitting there with my head in my hands going, what are you doing? Why? Why? Just let him be in there. Let him kick some ass. He doesn't have to eliminate everybody. He doesn't have to look like the strongest guy in the match, but don't take him out. Let's not forget the other guys that we really fell for that started early on in the match and won the whole thing. He who must not be named, Chris Benoit and Rey Mysterio, they were in the match for the entire thing, but they spent most of it sitting in the corner. That's fine. It's a pick your spot moment. Every 90 seconds we get a fresh face. You can easily forget about the guys that are already in the ring. And that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. So why they had to do that, I don't know. Spanish table, rest in peace, as usual. We've got a couple of other great spots. Miz was great. You know, coming down, putting that on the headset, saying this is Misney World. I loved that. I really loved that. One of those moments that Miz really did make me crack up. He enters after Brock Lesnar got eliminated, and as I said before, I didn't really see when he got knocked out. Braun Strowman was booked like a beast. Obviously, the Wyatt family as a whole, quite frankly, were, until the actual beast came out, number 23. Knocked out Rowan, he threw out Harper, Strowman, Jack Swagger in the middle as well, just for the fun of it. Sami Zayn coming in at number 20, that was great. Kevin Owens' face said it all. I mean, Owens in particular, he sold the last man standing match on the way to the ring, and then when he got to the ring, he kind of forgot about it. Take a masterclass from Bret Hart on selling in the Rumble match, my friend. Other than that, Owens was perfect throughout his appearance, he always is. Big Show took up an unnecessary spot, but then again, once again, like I say, this was a business Rumble. This is not just all about fun. The winner gets a shot at WrestleMania, and now they actually get it in the main event because we have one title again. Whoop-de-da! Yeah. Big Show was thrown by Strowman. I mean, that's the other thing as well. Kane made his return. Big Show, Mark Henry, they all got chucked early on. So we didn't have a repeat of last year. The Wyatt family, of course, was the ones responsible, making Braun Strowman in particular look strong. But the whole family as a whole, for Christ's sake. Yeah, I've lost track of what I was saying there, but essentially, we didn't get a repeat of last year. We didn't have the Big Show and Kane dominating the entire match in, you know, this late in their careers, because it's just not believable and it's just stupid. So there we go, we got that. Bray Wyatt came in to look amazing for a while, used shenanigans to get rid of Brock Lesnar, which does potentially set up a match at Mania, but we'll get into that in a minute. Sheamus comes in at number 29, gets his face knocked in by Roman Reigns, who's returning to the ring. Roman comes in, boom, 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 here comes Triple H. Shock, horror. Not really, we all expected it. But the crowd did sell it pretty well, and the crowd in Orlando in particular were quite behind Triple H in that one. Will I call them a snarky crowd? A smarky crowd, should I say? Yeah, I think I shall, because in any realistic world, we're not cheering for the 46-year-old man. We're not cheering for the most obvious option, because that is the reason the last 3 Rumbles have not gone down that well. Because we were given the most obvious option, and that's exactly what they did again this time. There's been a lot of talk about whether, you know, they didn't really have a lot of choice, because Seth Rollins is on the shelf, and John Cena is on the shelf, and Randy Orton is on the shelf. It's like, no, you had plenty of bloody choice. You could have taken a chance. Take a bloody chance. Put the belt on Bray Wyatt. Put the belt on Kevin Owens. Hell, go full hell for leather and put the belt on AJ Styles. No, okay, I don't agree with that one. He still needs to earn his spot. But Kevin Owens was my pick. I figured he could win the belt and go on to a match at Mania with Brock Lesnar. I would pay to see that. But he didn't. Triple H won the damn thing, and now we're going on to a Roman Reigns versus Triple H WrestleMania match, which undoubtedly in the coming weeks on Raw, they are going to go, well, maybe, but Roman, maybe not. He might have to face Brock Lesnar at Fastlane or something. It's going to be Roman, we all know it. So, what have we got coming? I'm getting worn out here, honestly, I'm not used to this. Doing this in one take, unlike the live stuff where I actually can cut it and block it. I'm doing this in one take, so this is a bit mental. What we got coming out of this? We've got Triple H versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, nicely set up. We've got Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, nicely set up. We have Jericho versus Ambrose, nicely set up. We have Charlotte versus Sasha Banks, nicely set up. Kalisto and the Tag Team Championships, I'm not sure yet. There was news coming out today of Jeff Hardy re-signing with TNA, so that takes that option off the table. So I don't really know what they're going to do with either of those championships yet. Braun Strowman was booked to look like a beast, so I guess the obvious shot is The Undertaker, although I hope to hell not, because that would be a rather shitty way for Undertaker to leave the business. If he does go, I mean, every single year, even if he doesn't plan his retirement, he could go, oh no, I don't feel like it anymore. I'm hurt, I'm done, forget it. So, you know, I really don't want it to be Strowman. It would just be an awful match. He really needs that career-defining match now. So, there you go. Kevin Owens has a couple of possible options. Now, everybody's talking about an AJ Styles Kevin Owens match. I don't think it's going to go that way. I think we're going to get Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And I think AJ is going to be groomed for something else. I think they're going to keep him for a couple of weeks and go, right, what can this guy actually do? Because it doesn't matter what, you know, the trainers say. It doesn't matter what Triple H says. It doesn't matter what Regal says. It doesn't matter what Dunn says, Road Dogg, anybody else. It matters what Vince McMahon sees. So he's going to give AJ a couple of weeks to go. We'll see what we can do. And then there is always the possibility of another NXT call-up. We were expecting one that didn't happen, and that is, of course, Finn Balor. I'm kind of half expecting an AJ Styles versus Finn Balor match because it's set up for them. They're treating the crowd like we know who the Bullet Club are. They've explained to us on WWE.com who the Bullet Club are. They've made reference to it in NXT for the past year with the Balor Club. So I think an AJ Styles Finn Balor match could still be on the WrestleMania card. Call me crazy. And that gives Sami Zayn something to do, because if Sami doesn't face Owens at Mania now, it makes his appearance in the Rumble almost pointless. And that would be awful for Sami Zayn to get a call up with nothing to do. I hope it's not just a one-time appearance for Zayn either. It might be. I mean, Rusev got a one-time appearance in 2014 and didn't come back again until after Mania. But I hope that's not the case, because Sami Zayn is already established. You know, back when Rusev did it, NXT was just kind of there. It wasn't a thing. Now it's the biggest brand in professional wrestling. So that would be awful. Anyway, I'm rambling again now. That's that. I'm going to say Royal Rumble, all in all, I'm giving it a good 7 out of 10. Because it was a damn good show, despite the fact we got some pretty obvious results coming out of it. They played it well, it was booked nicely. Such moments as Kevin Owens throwing AJ, knowing full well we were not going to turn on Kevin Owens. Stuff like that meant that WWE has listened, they've learned from the last 2 years. Yes, they still went with the obvious option, but at least it's a brand new option. Like, we've seen an authority figure win the title before, but it was Vince McMahon, and he dropped the title, what was it, the next day, a couple of days later. Triple H is in the position of authority, but he is still an old man, but he is still a credible world champion, at least for now, especially considering the position he's in. So that is that. We'll see how it plays out. I shall be back with another one of these recap, review, prediction shows, whatever you want to call them, in time for Fastlane. Obviously, if you enjoyed listening to me ramble about the Rumble, don't forget to give that like button a smash. Let's try and hit 15 likes on this video, because that would be amazing. That would be a new personal best for me. In fact, 5 will do. Just give it 5 likes. And don't forget to subscribe for more of this, for more of my WWE Custom Universe content. And if you've ever wanted to be in a video game, pay attention, because your chance will be coming up soon. And of course, new series starting anytime soon. And I will give a little teaser for anybody that's listened all the way to the end of this. That could potentially be an EFED related show. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is the Ripper Danny B. Take care, and I shall see you next time.